something. Looking at these old atheist theist debates, and then how we're talking about back then that the universe had a beginning and something. There was a singularity, there wasn't a singularity, and basically the debates were 5, 7 years ago, even more. And look, 7 years later, we found out the universe had no beginning. I think science is going to find the answer. I mean, we're getting closer. I mean, it's just going to happen. So I'm thinking, since we know now, we're going into the theory of quantum, quantum theory, the universe had no beginning. Some say there was no Big Bang, and some say the Big Bang. It's still there's also another theory where there is no Big Bang, which is the rainbow theory. So I'm thinking 5, 7 years, or maybe less, we might even solve it. Because it seems like, but even less than 7 years before they had the theory, the rainbow gravity, and before they had the universe no beginning. 3 years later, I mean, well, yeah, 3 years before 2015, 3 or 4 years before, there was another theory with the dark energy, dark matter, So when I'm looking at all these debates, how far we're coming, and even the theist, Dinesh D'Souza said, at that time, one of his debates when he was debating Dan Barker, 2009, he said, right now he thinks it's God and then he was like, well, then 20 years later, if you have a theory that's not God, you can present it, but right now it's God. Well, we didn't have to wait for 20 years, did we? So this means 7 years now. We already know there's the universe has no beginning. We're going into the quantum theory with the gravitons, which is going to probably give how the law of gravity came out to be. So it seems like we're learning science very rapidly. We're learning kind of something like, I mean, I'm checking Facebook and it's like scientists have found this, scientists have found this. So we're learning, and this is because of technology. See, basically in 1980, when the people knew about the Big Bang, because Big Bang's actually been around since 1920, technology wasn't advancing, and we were stuck with that. And people, the believers held on to God, and scientists were at a blockade that they couldn't come any further. But look how far we've come now, and the God gap it's just going to get smaller and smaller until there is no. I mean, I can say there's no God absolutely because, I mean, we're at the point, where we know the universe has no beginning, and we're already, it's just God is being unnecessary, but for the people who still believe in God, this is going to get smaller and smaller. I can say without a doubt there is no God. I mean, already at this point, without question. There's this bottom line is that God is never going to come down. So, the religion has been debunked. So you can be with me on this, and you can say there's no God because I could say I'm a, I know how people say, well, you can never really know, no, but seriously, I mean, the God's never going to come down. God is not going to appear in space. You say God's outside of time and space, but science is explaining all the mysteries, So, there's just no God. Even Hawking said there's no God needed. So it seems like from the rate we're going, and it's because of the technology, I mean, 5 years we're going to get even more advanced telescopes, but it seems like now, and since I'm thinking 3 more years, we're going to have probably even a more in-depth, understanding, even more thorough of understanding with stuff we don't even know about the universe. That's going to be really, really critical. Um, probably how the law, how the laws got there. I'm thinking in 3 years, um, who knows? It could be even less, or 3 or 5 years, or even less. How the laws of the universe got there, why their constants are fine tuned and stuff. And the thing is, um, see, the theists only hold to their God, and they focus on science, but they just stop there. They don't keep on thinking, you know. And the more I learned from different scientists that our universe, yeah, has fine-tuned constants, but the argument weighs ridiculous because if we live in a multiverse and there's other universes, there's bound to be other universes that have fine-tuned constants like Earth. Hell, they even find satellites, telescopes, planets just like Earth. You know, the same kind of conditions and terrain, just like Earth, as well as different planets. And since time's zero, and before that, the hypothesis of another universe, because that's what the evidence leads to, what the cross says, and the multiverse is going to be confirmed. And then we're not that special. We're not super special. We're in this universe with great amounts of um, uh, I guess you could say luck, but a great amounts. I mean, yeah, lucky. But that being said, if there's other universes with fine-tuned constants, there's another species just like us there. Walking, talking, intelligent life like us. And if we're that rare, there's bound to be somewhere else out there. And that's what's going to be the real aliens, you know? Um, and it doesn't matter if aliens kind of look like us, because if they did, that means then there was a process, perhaps a mutation of a different abogenesis, evolutionary, probably different alien evolutionary. Could have been manipulated with RNA, contacted, cross-transformed. Or if there's another species that looks totally different than us, well, then there's a whole different evolution process that they went through. And by then, if you think about all this, absolutely no God. Because the universe had no beginning, no end, existed. Matter, energy cannot be created or destroyed. Years will find out how the universe laws came to be. The multiverse, the different universes, with other fine-tuned constants. There you go. I think I just eliminated God right there. Yeah, I sure did, didn't I? And this is right now. And our technology is going to advance so fast. It seems like every 3 years, 5 years, or concerning from the debates, 7 years. Look how far we're at now. And I wouldn't be surprised if some of these theists became believers, became atheists. Because the bottom line is, the 80s, the scientists were stuck at the wall with the Big Bang. They were totally, they knew there was a Big Bang, but they were just like, they were stuck for years and years and years because they just couldn't get past that. They had their technology wasn't there. But now, the technology is there, the science is there, and we're just advancing rapidly. And that's why we're going to explain it. And like I said, I'm looking on Facebook. I'm looking at something like just something brand new almost every day. Basically, scientists are finding whether small things, big things, and then it seems like every 3 years or more, they come up with something huge. Like, what was it before? Dark energy, dark matter. Was it 3 years ago? 4 years ago? And now, the universe is still beginning. Remember, Lawrence Krauss said, what, a couple years ago? We don't understand the theory of quantum. We don't have a quantum theory yet. Now we're learning about quantum. We're going into the quantum theory. I think with this rate of scientists and technology, I think we're going to really explain the whole universe. Aren't they really explainable? So it seems like every 3, 5, 7 years, something huge is coming, but probably even less, because we're at this point now where we're now learning about the quantum fluid. So yeah, there was something that always existed there, fluid, this quantum fluid, gravitons, protons, neutrons, electrons, and maybe we'll find out about the energy. Maybe the energy was always there. Maybe some kind of energy can be created and destroyed. Maybe not. Science always advances. Science always changing. And we got brilliant scientists. And science is just the only way, the pathway to explain it all, man. And some people might not like science because they just want a full answer. Sorry, science doesn't work that way. You have to falsify and make things true and false. And the best thing you advance, theory has facts in it. Science is honest. Science is never going to say things are facts. Even though germ theory is still a theory, it's still forever, and it's facts. Atomic theory is still theory. It's fact. Science is very honest. That's what people don't understand. And if there's a theory that's better than that, of course, that's the brilliance of science. Like Lawrence Krauss says, it's the unknown. We come here to explain the unknown. Okay, so then so like we find out everything about the universe maybe 3, 5, 7 years from now. It's possible with the rate we're going. We're just zooming. We're learning very, very fast. And then so like if next year when we go to the CERN and well, actually we don't have to do that anymore, since there's a theory there's no Big Bang and there's a Big Bang. So I don't know if we're actually going to go to CERN and see smash those particles, because this new theory not only shows what happened after the Big Bang, but before the Big Bang. So I wonder if we're going to smash those particles in the CERN again. May have to. Maybe the machine is unnecessary now. I have a lot of money. It didn't do anything. But maybe not. I think the machine can always be useful. Always people using that Hadron Collider. So, and I think we'll find all the answers, because people say religion gives you the answers. It doesn't. It just says God did it all. It doesn't explain. I think we can explain how the universe exists. And if we know how, then we're going to find out why. Not only why, but how. Why and how is kind of together. There's nothing godly, nothing divinity. Of course, people thought 3,000 years ago, of course, they had no science. They didn't even know better. They're like, oh, it's all black up there. Oh, there must be a void, and imaginary God made light, and let there be light and dark. So, yeah. God of the Gaps is going to be closed forever. And, yeah. And then we just have to explain the stuff like how the first cell came to be and all that stuff. It seems like we're going to explain the universe first, Big Bang, or no Big Bang, before explaining the origin of life. But maybe I could be wrong. Maybe some other scientists will have the origin of life find first. And it seems like the origin of life is more complex than actually how the universe came to be.